and it could possibly grow, as it sometimes does. I'm going to, just out of respect for time and the other items that come after this, I'm going to ask that the time for public speakers for this particular item is reduced down to 2 minutes per speaker. Again, just to respect the other items that have to come up and everybody else as well. So we'll reduce that down to 2 minutes per speaker. Madam Clerk, would you like to go ahead and call the first three speakers, please?
Okay, I'll call three individuals at a time. Desmarie Guyton Bubs, and I'm sorry, I'm a little, what's his name? Carrie Horval, and Erlen Gonzalez.
Good evening, City Council members, staff, and those present in the council chambers. Again, my name is Desmarie Guyton Babb, and I just want to say a few words about Erlen Gonzalez. Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan the course, but the Lord is the one that established the steps." This is why Erlen Gonzalez will be a great addition to the Planning Commission. As my supervisor and team member at the Housing Authority, he is a leader with an open door policy. He leads by example, and he's not afraid to serve. There have been times when working on a complex case, he dug into the trenches with me, assisting our clients in maintaining their housing. Erlen is a person who listens, motivates, and assists the public, our participants and landlords, to work cohesively in this current housing crisis. He demonstrates his 20-plus years of service when the pandemic unknown to us entered our country in 2020, known as the coronavirus. When people were afraid to come into the office and work with the public, he showed up every day, leading our team at a most challenging time. In his career with the County of Riverside, he has worked with the economic development, redevelopment, and affordable housing development. He continues to be a man of transparency, integrity, commitment, and it is an honor to share my experience of Erlen Gonzalez. And I'm sure as you work with him and get to know him, your experience will be the same, if not better. Thank you for the time for allowing me to be a part of this planning meeting and to share my experience of my supervisor, colleague, and friend.
The next three speakers are Carrie Horvath, Erlen Gonzalez, and Sammy Luna.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, city staff, and the public. I'm also here for Erlen Gonzalez. I am a real estate broker, been licensed since 2004. I am the Director of Family Services at Habitat for Humanity, and I also had the pleasure of working with Erlen for 11 years at the County of Riverside. So my experience with Erlen, I'm here, I'm not a political person. I'm here just to speak to speak on behalf of his character and his work ethic. He was a pleasure to work with. I learned so much. We worked on a few infill projects for single-family affordable housing, and I learned a lot about development, and I'm continuing to do development now. And, I think that's why he's so perfect for the Planning Commission. And I am, I admire him because he's such a family man, and Moreno Valley, he made Moreno Valley his home. And I think part of what's important about that is that, he cares about the community where he's raising his family. And so to give him the opportunity to be able to serve his community, I think one of the things too about Erlen is, we discuss all the time how it's important to hear all sides of the coin. There's arguments for different points, and I think he's going to be, that would be something that he would be bringing to the Planning Commission, being able to look at the opportunities and how it might benefit his community. You know, he is here with his wife, and we were just talking about his kids. And, you know, I know that he's very passionate about his work. His kids have grown up, but I know from working with him, when you enjoy what you do, work kind of just rolls into your personal life. And he has been on soccer fields, still working and trying to.
Thank you. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Erlen Gonzalez, Sammy Luna, and Tashia Hillard.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, City Council, and staff, and everyone watching on various social media platforms. I gotta be quick. My name is Erlen Gonzalez. I don't know if those that know me or don't know me, I want to give a brief intro of myself. I was born in Baldwin Park, California. I attended school out there. I came out to the region, to the Riverside region when I got accepted to UCR, and I became part of the community. I became part of, through my work at the County of Riverside, I became a resident of the region. I met my wife, Alma Ruiz, who's in the audience, and a native of Moreno Valley. We decided to establish our home in Moreno Valley. I've been residing here since 2010. We have two children, Juan Pablo and Nicolas. They have been formed by Moreno Valley and the close-knit community of the community. They've attended Ridgecrest Elementary and Montview Middle School. We're involved in their soccer leagues and faith-based community at St. Christopher Catholic Church. I was on the Planning Commission for 2 years, and it was an honor to be there. I reviewed a number of the projects that, from commercial, industrial, residential, and they all added value to Moreno Valley. During that time, I decided to pursue an education, and I obtained my MBA in 2018. I know I possess the qualifications to be a planning commissioner. As a planning commissioner, you got to look at the merits of the project. And also, I want to just describe public service. I know many of the council members, through education, law enforcement, social work, can attest that it's important to serve your community. Again, thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to serving on the Planning Commission. If you have any questions of me, I'll be in the audience. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Sammy Luna, Tashia Hillard, and Evangelina Weiss.
Good evening, Honorable Mayors, City Council, City staff, residents of Moreno Valley. My name is Sammy Luna. I am a resident of District 2, and it's an honor to be here tonight to advocate for being a member of the Parks, Community Services, and Trails Committee. Being a public servant is actually a passion of mine. My employer is the City of Riverside Public Utilities. I've been there for 19 years. I'm very familiar with how the city works, and it would mean a lot to be a part of our community in the decision making and the things that happen here. I've raised my children here. They've attended Moreno Valley Unified. I'm a homeowner and would love to be a part of this committee. Parks and Community Services and Trails have a significant impact on all of our residents. And as a member of this committee, I assure you that in my decision making, I am thoughtful and about every single person that is impacted by my decisions. I'm committed, I am dedicated, I am loyal, I will show up. I heard someone talking about people not showing up. I will definitely be showing up because I know how important it is to be a part of the process. It would be a great honor to serve my community of Moreno Valley, and I appreciate your support and your consideration.
The next three speakers are Tashia Hillard, Evangelina Weiss, and Leslie Bartholomew.
Hi, excuse me. Good evening, Mayor Cabrera and City Council. I first want to say thank you for the interview. I know we had a phone interview, and I also exchanged some emails with you, Councilwoman Sherlinda Bernard. And so I just want to say that, or introduce myself, excuse me. Dr. Hilliard, I am a 2-year resident of Moreno Valley, so I'm brand new. However, I do have a background in education. I'm a department chair at West Coast University, and I'm also a practicing chiropractor. I'm very passionate about education, and I'm interested in, I see that I'm a candidate for the Library Commission, and so I'm really excited about that. One thing I just want to also add, I'm sorry, I always get nervous sometimes speaking, so just bear with me. I'm also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Eta Nu Omega chapter, and we service actually Riverside and San Bernardino County, so we do a lot of community service work as well. One thing about me is I like to get my hands in and work, so I'm very excited about this position. One thing I just want to leave you all with in honor of Women's History Month, I would like to leave you with a few words from Coretta Scott King. The greatness of a community is the most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. And so with closing, I would just like to say that I look forward to working with this community and so we can continue to do great work. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Evangelina Weiss, Leslie Bartholomew, and Stephen Figueroa.
Should I wait for the timer? Hello, Mayor Cabrera, board members. My name is Evangelina Weiss, Eva for short. I wanted to come in and introduce myself. I have applied for the Arts Commission, and the reason I applied for that is because I have just had so much fun attending all the events. My daughter has Down syndrome. She's 22 years old. I'm a military widow, and we've lived here since 1999, and we just have a blast. We have a blast. We go to all the events, all the music, Cinco de Mayo, Christmas, you name it, we're there. And then I noticed that you had, you were looking for members, and that's why I applied for the Arts Commission, because I have so much fun watching and seeing everything you guys put into all the events, and all the staff, all the kids that are working hard, all the free items that you guys give out, the food, and I want to be a part of that. Back years ago when my daughter was 13, she's 25 now, I would also like to bring this back, is the Moreno Valley singing competition. She won that competition when she was 13, and she was going to school here, and she wanted this gigantic $500 check. She's a singer now professionally. I think Moreno Valley gives a lot to kids, and I'd like to see more of the children performing. There's so many out there. There's so many music schools, performing arts schools here in Moreno Valley. Anyway, I interviewed with our mayor a few days ago, and we had a nice little chat, and I wanted to thank you for getting back.
Thank you, Ms. Weiss.
The next three speakers are Leslie Bartholomew, Stephen Figueroa, and Mark Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight to talk about James Baker, Commissioner Baker. I love Moreno Valley. I chose to buy my house here. I've lived here for a long time, and I think Moreno Valley gets it right. Commissioner Baker got it right for a long time. He's an outstanding person that does what he says he's going to do and stands by his word. He's a great addition to our community. He's done many wonderful things. Who makes floats? I mean, he's just, he's done many wonderful things in programs feeding children. He illuminated our M sign. And I love Moreno Valley. He would be a great addition, and we'd love to see him back. Thank you.
Next three speakers, Stephen Figueroa, Mark Johnson, and Darrell Terrell.
Hi, thank you. First, I'd like to thank Elena Baca for the wisdom of pulling the item to have speakers and so the public could hear. Hate rubber stamping. It always gets me. So thank you very much. Second, you guys are really blessed to have these candidates. They're enthusiastic and they love what they do. I mean, this is really good. In some cities, there's so much infighting, even for a little small appointment. You're going, wow. So, but I'm here for James Baker to tell you, because I'm an advocate for children. And he has been there when I have advocated for children and stood with me at the school districts, in parks and different functions that we put on. And that's what you want. You just heard that one of the speakers talk about how the kids benefit and everything you do. You need somebody that's involved, that love what they do. And you know, outside of his position, so there's no conflict of interest or anything, he's prayed with me, he's visited me in the hospital, and that's the type of guy he is, you know. So, you know, I'm going to not take the whole 2 minutes, but just say, you guys are blessed to have everyone that's coming up here. And I'm sure it sounds like they really value the trust that you're putting in them, and they hold that trust sacred to the public trust. Thank you.
Next three speakers are Mark Johnson, Darrell Terrell, and Alma Reese.
Hi, good evening, Major Cabrera, Major Pro Tem Delgado, members of the council. James Baker asked, my name's Mark Johnson. James Baker asked if I'd come down and speak for him. Now, I'll say one thing, I'm a Superior Court judge. I'm not allowed to endorse anybody officially, but I think it's fair game for me to talk about James's character. He's a personal friend of mine. I've got to know him because he roped me into riding on your float, the one that won an award. I've learned that M is his work. But, you know, a lot of things, James also does a lot of work even over in the Philippines. I know he supports a charity. He does a lot there with his money. And I just have found him to be a really selfless individual. And I know he's absolutely loves Moreno Valley. He's entirely devoted to your city. And I would just say I think he'd be an excellent choice. And appreciate what you folks do. I think I've been to a lot of city council meetings. It is one thankless job, I can tell you. So I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you, folks.
Next three speakers are Darrell Terrell, Alma Reese, and Donovan Sadiq.
My name is Darrell Terrell. I've lived here in Moreno Valley for 35 years. I wasn't born here in California. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been blessed and grateful to have called Moreno Valley home for the last 35 years. I'm a graduate of RCC. I got an AA and an AS. I'm a graduate of UCR, where I received a bachelor's arts degree in political science. You know, after graduation from UCR, I told my mom that I was going to make a difference in this community. And that's what I've done for the last 35 years. I've been on the Traffic Safety Committee before. I served in the first class of Moreno Valley, Leadership Moreno Valley. I've served on the Parks and Recs, Citizens Ad Hoc Budget Committee. I've attended council meetings for, I don't know, almost like 30 years, I think. I've walked picket lines with my brothers and sisters who were fighting for fair wages and the fair pay in Beverly Hills to Anaheim. I currently serve on the Riverside County Behavioral Health Commission for the last 9 years, where I fought for this community to get our fair share of resources when it came to our crisis management team that responds to mental health crisis and substance abuse and homelessness. I stood up for this community. I've given my heart and love. No one paid me to do this kind of stuff. It's because it's in my heart to make a difference. I'm so proud, again, to be part of this community, and proud that I was able to serve in some capacity. But I thank you. If you consider me, I really appreciate it, but thanks.
The next three speakers are Alma Reese, Donovan Sadiq, and Fred Plumley.
Good evening, Mayor Cabrera and council members. My name is Alma Ruiz, and I have lived in Moreno Valley since 1983 when I was born. As a lifelong member of this community, I truly believe that having qualified members from this community to serve in leadership roles is of the utmost importance. I am here to express my support for Mayor Cabrera's nomination of Erlen Gonzalez to the Planning Commission. Erlen Gonzalez is my husband. I can attest that Erlen is capable of serving as a planning commissioner, as he has served as an alternate planning commissioner in the past. Erlen has the education and the experience to serve the city of Moreno Valley in this role. Erlen has been part of this community for the past almost 15 years. I believe that it is important to nominate citizens that plan to stay in this community to serve roles in leadership that will be making decisions on the future of the city. My father, Romelio Ruiz, chose Moreno Valley to start his family when he came from Mexico. Erlen and I chose to raise our sons in the city of Moreno Valley, and we hope that both of our boys, Juan Pablo and Nico, choose to raise their families in this beautiful city. People like Erlen are a great asset to commissions like the Planning Commission, because he loves this city, is vested in this community, and is highly qualified. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Donovan Sadiq, Fred Plumley, and Roy Bleckard.
All right. Well, welcome back. I was told by the commish if I could say a few words in his steed as he's going for this thing now. When somebody asks me for endorsement, I always say, I don't know if that's a good thing. If you want my endorsement, it might backfire on you. But whatever it is, please don't hold that against them as he goes. I just want to say a few things about the commish. We all know his advocacy in the city. He does a really good job out here. And I'm one of the main people that will say that it's hard to get volunteers with what's going on in the world today in regards to, participating. It's very, very hard. One thing about the commissioner is he will go out, and every year he's called me to go help him on that float. And I'm like, nah, I'm busy. I got stuff to do, whatever the deal is. So we need, commissioners that not only think inside the box and use the resources that they have, but they have the knowledge to go outside and say, hey, I know this person in the community. I can ask this person for help. I can ask that person for help, knowing they're going to get it, because he does have some stuff on me behind the scenes. So, and also Daryl Terrell. Here's a guy who's been in the community for a very, very long time. And, tonight he's put something in the public record that we, have used in the past. I mean, several records that go way back. And these are the type of people that we should be honored to have serve the city, because they constantly want to do it. And, again, these people have, at least the two people I'm talking about, have been vetted, and we have other people that are want to participate. And we should get these people to participate, to bring other people to participate. Because I'm going to tell you, as you guys know, when people don't see it and they don't see other people participating, they don't do it. So, thank you guys that are volunteering, because Moreno Valley is a great city. And again, please don't hold my endorsement of them against them. Okay. So.
The next three speakers are Fred Plumley, Roy Bleckard, and Luis Palomares.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City staff, and all of you. And my name is Fred Plumley. I'm a citizen here in Moreno Valley. I was asked by James Baker to endorse him, and I'm really happy to do that. He's been a friend of mine since about 2008. And when I met him, I was chief officer for Moreno Valley Races, and I met him, and he was really colorful, and he was out. And I have two children, and I want to say, all the years he was Parks and Recreation Commissioner before, every time I went to an event, he was there. He was meeting people. He was helping people. And it's what he's about. He always says, let's not just talk about it, let's do something. And that's what he's been doing all his life. Serving people, doing all these different events. He came up with this idea to fix the M and did all that work on that. He also has been doing award-winning floats for the city for 7 years, and he got me to help too, and then also do floats for the radio station. So we've been doing it Later after that, when he wasn't Parks and Recreation Commissioner, he decided it was important to provide food for young people, deserving young people in the Philippines. And he did that, organized it, and actually this year fed about 4,000 people. Also, he's been on my show on the radio for many times, probably more than anyone else other than Jesus Holguin. So, by the way, I want to also recommend Sammy Luna. Sammy Luna's great too. I didn't know she was endorsed here, but I want to endorse Sammy Luna as well as James Baker. They're both going to do a great job. So I know James Baker's going to do phenomenal. Take it to the bank, okay?
Next three speakers, Roy Bleckard, Luis Palomares, and Christopher Baca.
One thing you will never hear is a judge endorsing anything I ever did. I'm usually on the wrong end of that gavel. But as you know, Baker, that's a no-brainer. I mean, maybe he didn't build the M, but you probably wouldn't have it if it wasn't for him and all this stuff like that. And all the rest of the candidates seem fine. But what really concerned me is when the agenda came out, I noticed by Daryl's name, it was denied. I called him up and I found out he actually applied for the Planning Commission. What I want to know is why we're not using the system that the great Mayor Tom Owings came up with and put the interviews out for the Planning Commission out in front of public where everyone could ask the questions. Everyone made that. The Planning Commission is our most important division. They're actually a decision-making body. We should have open hearings on who's going to be on that. The public should be allowed to comment like that. And again, I have nothing. Erlin's a great guy. And if the council decides Erlin's back on, fine and dandy. But I want to know why Daryl or others weren't considered. I mean, we put open processes in before. So, I mean, maybe the laws have changed on that, but I don't really believe so. But anyway, we can work that out. But again, that's where we had, putting Joanne and Ray Baker on and off and Erlin on and off. That is exactly why Moreno Valley is viewed as a circus clown show across the deal and why development doesn't come in here because we play these yo-yo games. Let's straighten it out. Let's fix it. Let's put the Planning Commission back on the agenda. Let's do it right and get it done so we can have a better city.
Next three speakers, Luis Palomares, Christopher Baca, and Hazel Lambert.
Wow. Luis Palomares, community activist. There's a lot of good choices here today. It's great. I know a lot of these people that have been in the trenches helping, doing all of this. James Baker for one of them. Also a few others. And it's all good. So my concern is here, where's the representation for District 1? We don't got nobody on the Planning Commission for District 1. How many do we got on the East End over there? That's my concern. That's my concern. I know Mr. Gonzalez was on the Planning Commission as I believe, as a alternate, way back when in the day. Okay, I know that Marcus, that's his, they know each other. They go all the way back to George Price days, So I hope that Marcus and Cabrera don't use the guy because he's really a great guy. He really is. But I think you got your agendas and the way you want to plan things about the city to go forward, kind of makes me wonder. But it's a great family. I know them. And let's see what happens here today. But again, Daryl Terrell had put in, and you changed it up 3 different times. He was on the interviewed for the Planning Commission, and then you took it off the agenda and changed it. What happened? I believe, I could be wrong. Correct me if I am. Okay, I got that from somebody then. Maybe it wasn't a source that. Okay, so anyway, nevertheless, we don't have no representation in District 1. When's that going to happen? When are we going to do that? Everybody on this council should have representation. I'm sorry, I'm getting stuck here. thank you in each district. How many do we have in District 3? I know we don't have a council member. We got a missing council member
Thank
half
you.
the time. Thank you.
Next speakers, Christopher Baca and Hazel Lambert.
Good evening. I'm here representing myself, and my opinions are my personal opinions, and I'm not trying to encourage anybody. In case anybody didn't know, our street that comes into our civic center is named Rogelio Ruiz, which is Mrs. Alma Ruiz's father, who's married to Mr. Elian Gonzalez, and he's been around in the city for so he knows what's going on. Mr. Baker, I've volunteered so much with him on the M and the float, and Daryl Terrell, of course. I think he should also be considered for maybe alternates on the planning commission. I think you should go back to the alternates. There should never be a person that's missing from the planning commission. Sometimes I believe at times there were no quorums, and that's ridiculous because of the city, the people. But anyhow, I also have a concern with this slate, and I would ask that you pull those 3 names and approve those 3 people, Mr. Baker, Mr. Gonzalez, and Mr. Terrell, and revamp the rest of the people. And I think every single individual on this seat should vet every single person. Okay, so I think it really should be pulled, and but because it's really necessary to get the Planning Commission and Mr. Tell and Mr. Baker on there, I think they should be approved immediately. But I have a concern with the diversity. For instance, where there are no other males on the Arts Commission. All I see is females here. That's discriminatory. I have nothing against any of the individuals on here. I don't know them, other than the ones I've mentioned, and I'm sure they're great people if they've applied for this. Thank you.
Final speaker is Hazel Lambert.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hazel Lambert. I've been a resident of Moreno Valley for over 35 years. I served as a certified long-term care ombudsman, where I went into the skilled nursing facilities and we advocated for the residents and checked out any elder abuse. I was the director for the Ombudsman Program for San Bernardino and also for Riverside County. I'm currently the Cultural Community Liaison for Riverside Behavioral Health, where we're working to eliminate stigmas and barriers related to mental health services. And I'm also very supported on advocating for our seniors, because I noticed during Christmas, oftentimes we're thinking about the children, but nobody's thinking about our seniors. So I'll make it a point to make sure that I work with the different organizations, that we remember our seniors during the holidays in the skilled nursing facilities. And for those of you, if you haven't had a chance to go to the Civil Rights Institute, because I've been a long-term resident of Moreno Valley, I had an opportunity to do a recording for the Civil Rights Institute to talk about Moreno Valley and the work that we've done here. And I look forward to hopefully being a part of the Senior Advisory Board. Thank you.
That concludes public comment on A5.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And thank you to all of our public speakers as well. So that will conclude the public testimony part of that item. And that will bring us now to council deliberation for council comments. If you'd like to speak, please go ahead and hit your speaker button here on the screen, and we'll call on you one by one. First on the list here, we have Councilmember Banca Santa Cruz.
Thank you, everybody who came up and spoke and support those who came to speak on their own behalf. But my concern tonight is representation across the city. The city is broken up into 4 districts. Currently, our commissions have 46 commissioners. Of those 46 commissioners, only 3 are from District 1. The slate presented to us tonight has 12 nominations. Only 1 of those is from District 1. We can't continue to put most of the commissioners from everywhere else but District 1. Planning Commission has 7 commissioners. Currently, there's 2 from District 2, 2 from District 3, and 2 from District 4. It's obvious we need somebody from District 1. The Safety Committee has 1 member from District 1, 3 from District 2, none from District 3, and 2 from District 4. The Senior Advisory has no members from District 1, 3 from District 2, 2 from District 3, and 3 from District 4. Yet the nominees are from Districts 2 and 4. The only one who would be balanced from the nominations tonight are the nominees for Parks, Community Service, and Trails. Currently, there are 2 from District 2, 2 from District 3, and only 1 from District 2 and 4. Those nominated tonight are from District 4 and 2. This would even out the Parks and Commission. If this has to come as a slate, and we are only allowed to either approve or disapprove the entire slate, I say we disprove it. We pull the item, go out, and find representation from our districts. Had we had the mayor's duties presented to us last month as the council had voted and asked for, these types of activities would be pushed down to the council members. We would be responsible. I, as the representative for District 1, would be charged with finding commissioners to fill these vacancies. And I'm willing to do that. But at this time, the only way to do this is for the mayor to bring a slate and us either to approve or disapprove it. So at this moment, the way the slate is presented, as a all or none, I say none.